Okay, hi guys. I am with Richard Eaton today from the 10-Minute Marketing Company. We're going to be talking about obviously marketing a little bit and working from home, the effects that that's having on us all at the moment. So Richard, I'll hand over to you to introduce yourself.
Thanks, Sally. Hi everyone, I'm Richard Eaton from 10-Minute Marketing. My background for the last sort of 30 years, scarily, is that I've worked from home for the majority of that time. So I've got some sort of pitfalls and some good stuff, hopefully, to help people with that at this current time. The marketing business came about. I'd run a previous technology company for about 10 years, but most of my working life, I've actually been marketing small businesses. So rather than having lots of bits of paper, of Institute of Chartered Marketing and all that kind of stuff, I have real world experience and I know the challenges people have. So they're normally one or more of the following three. So it's normally time, money or knowledge. And I try and address those things with, thankfully, online training for small businesses and micro businesses.
Brilliant. Yeah, I was saying we were going to talk about a bit about marketing, but I think one of the first things we need to sort of go through is this whole working from home at the moment. I mean, I've just learned that you're in Vietnam at the moment, so you know what it's like to work from home or work when you're traveling. And I must admit, I've been asked that question this morning. You know, how do you do it? You know, how do you cope? Because it's so new to a lot of people, and now we're actually on. Well, I don't like to call it lockdown because we're not completely locked down, but certainly we're not allowed to travel unless we have to at the moment to sort of contain the virus. So give us some insights.
So as I say, I've worked from home for most of my working life, so I've got a few sort of tips. I've got an article I've written about it, which you can probably add to these show notes.
Yeah, I will do.
That'd probably be helpful. But the first thing is to sort of have a plan with, if you have any management or colleagues, then know how you're going to sort of communicate. It can be as simple as, we'll agree to only do stuff over email. It could be Skype, it could be Zoom. It's just really important to know, because some people will be using the phone and stuff gets lost, or it's just verbal, and you need sort of traceability even more. And there's even some great online systems out there. So one I'm a huge fan of, if there's a team of people, and that can be virtual, so it can be VAs, it doesn't have to be, it can still be one person business, but when you've got virtual colleagues effectively. But there's a great tool called Slack, and I've used that in various companies, and it just keeps all your communications in one place. So that's one of the things there, is communication is key, really.
Yeah, actually I've used Slack recently, and I only learned about it about a month or so ago through one of the mentoring groups I'm in, and I actually didn't realise how useful it is, and it has been brilliant.
It is, because you've just got everything in one place, and you can share documents, you can share videos, screens, all that kind of thing. And the way we used it, we had a team of about 10 people, mainly developers, but we'd have different Slack channels for different projects, but then we'd have effectively a water cooler. So people would be posting pictures of the dog and the stupid stuff it was doing, those kinds of things. But it sounds ridiculous at first, but all that kind of stuff really keeps a team sort of spirit. And it keeps all that going. That is, obviously, working virtually is a difficult thing to do. And the previous company I had, that was going for about 10 years, and 4 years ago, everyone started to work from home. So we went from working in an office to everyone working remotely. And that was one of the things that we sort of had to really keep, was this great team spirit. And Slack allowed us to do that, because we tried other tools and they didn't really work for us in that perspective.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, today we're using Zoom, and I've found Zoom is really good, but a lot of people are unsure how to use it. They don't like showing up on video either. That's what I've noticed. It's quite bizarre. You know, the first thing I have to say to everybody is, turn your video on. Oh, I've got no makeup on. It's usually the classic I keep hearing, even from the blokes.
But I think video is going to be a real good thing that people get a lot more sort of confident with. And feeding into some of the marketing stuff, then that is a really useful skill for people to have. Like I say, previously people go, oh no, I'm not doing any video. I don't want to do any video talking about my business. Well, you've not got much choice now. And then yes, you can do emails, but video is so much better on so many levels. And like I say, I think it'll actually teach people a skill. And the more, like most things, the more you do it, the more experience you get. You don't mind doing it after a while.
No, and I guess the other thing is through email and messaging, you know, I'm in a couple of WhatsApp groups and things, and the miscommunication you see straight away because of the tone of something, or it's how you're, because everybody's sensitive at the moment, I guess, as well, it's how you might read something. So this sort of interaction is so much better because you're actually, you know, it's like you're in the room you are in the room together.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing that we always did in my previous company, because everyone was working from home, then we found it really useful to do a sort of 10-minute catch up at the beginning of the day, just so everyone knows where everyone is. If anyone needs any help, they could say. And it was effectively a stand-up meeting, so it was between 5 and 10 minutes, and it was just so everyone could know where they were and, like I say, ask for any help. But that just helped from a team dynamic as well. Because otherwise, before that, if people are just communicating over email, then a week could go by and you've not actually spoken to someone. Which isn't great, where this is far more like a real conversation, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And the other thing is, I find as well that, like, for us at the moment, obviously my daughter's at home now from uni, and one of the things we agreed last night is, because we were allowed to go out for half an hour every day to get some fresh air, we said, right, breaks are important too. So we've agreed, right, lunchtime every day we'll go for half an hour walk together with the dogs just around the block, just to sort of keep them safe.
So my tip for breaks, it's a good one, this one. So it combines two things. So drinking water. So you can see I've got a pint glass. That's not vodka, that's water.
Not yet, anyway.
But I just keep that on my desk all the time. Because you're sort of constantly sipping from it. So you drink a pint of water in sort of half an hour, which then sort of makes them forced breaks for you to get up off your chair and go to the toilet every half hour as well. Which is important, because just being sat in front of a computer all day is not great. So yes, and hydrating yourself is really important. Like I say, health from working from home, it's way too easy for people to just get clogged into the work, or well, the fridge is there and I'll have some snacks, and it's those kinds of things. It's those kinds of things.
I'm a double for the water. Yesterday I didn't do it, but halfway through the day I thought, God, I've got a sore throat, and I started getting paranoid. And then I realised I hadn't had a drink. So I just had a glass of water and I was fine. I thought, stupid woman, all you need to do is have that glass of water on your desk.
Well, that's it. And because it's in front of you, it's a visual cue to sort of have it every so often as well. So that works well. But you talked about your children being at home as well. So that's leads nicely into distractions. So one of the things that I always sort of advise people to do when they are working from home is, first of all, have this sort of dedicated space. So like me here, I'm not lucky enough to have a study or anything. So my daughter's bedroom at night is my office during the day. And I chose this particular room because it's the quietest in the house and doesn't really get interruptions. And they know that if the door's shut, then I'm working and not to interrupt me. It minimises that. It might not eradicate it, but it massively sort of gets rid of that. And also headphones as well. If you don't even have a separate room, then headphones are a godsend, because even just putting your headphones, putting some music on, it sort of blanks everything out in your background.
I suppose there's also, most of them are noise cancelling now, aren't they? So if you are on a call and you've got noise behind you, it doesn't automatically pick it up, it just picks up you. It's because most of these are just a bog standard Apple set of headphones, and we've got a decent microphone in it, and the headphones are fairly good, and they just come with sort of any Apple device. I know, because I must admit, when we first started this, the end of last week, when Georgia was told by the university that she had to come home, I was like this, so working away, and she was in and out, and I, like you say, I had to go, right, now stop. If that door is shut, leave me alone. Don't come in, because it was, and I think she needed the discipline as well to go and sit at her laptop. And actually yesterday she said she'd done a 1,500-word essay, so she felt really good. She said she achieved more at home yesterday than she normally does at uni, because there was no distraction. So as soon as we set those boundaries in place,
again, my children are a lot younger, so I have to sort of do things in a slightly different way, because they're 7 and 9. But the way I can do it is, well, if you just leave me alone for 2 hours so I can get this done, then we can go out after that and we can go and do things, or we can play at this. So it's communication, isn't it? And it's just saying, right, between these hours I'm going to work, and then we can do fun stuff.
Because it is. I mean, I think it's more difficult when you've got younger children, because it's that understanding that suddenly you're all at home, but some of us have still got to work. I wouldn't say it's lucky at the moment if you're not working, but certainly, if you've got one of the other can look after the children and while the other one works, and maybe swap it around, that's probably a bit easier.
It's like a tag team working. But that's sort of important. The other thing that sort of leads on from that as well is sort of saying when the end of the day actually is. What you normally find when people start working from home, instead of doing less work, they actually do more, because they're sort of overcompensating. In the current situation, I don't know how that will work. Normally it's people working from home sort of proving they can do it, so they tend to do more, but they tend to do longer hours. By having a sort of dedicated space, it makes it easy to sort of shut that door, and that's done and dusted. The work day is now over. But that's quite an important thing to sort of do as well.
We did again. I said to George this morning, because our gym now have got their online exercise routines up on they use Boxmate, and one came up this morning, and I said to George, right, okay, 6 o'clock tonight, we'd normally go to the gym between 6 and 8 anyway, so I said, right, this one's a really good one we could do together. So our gym is normally in an industrial unit, so it's always freezing. So we said we'll go outside because we'll freeze anyway. And I said to it, again, as you say, finish the day at 5, 6 o'clock, and then straight outside and do the gym routine. Get changed as we would normally, as if we were going to the gym, and work out with the dogs outside.
I bet they like that.
Oh yeah, I think they think it got all the Christmases have come once, because we're at home all the time at the moment. So
cool. Okay.
What else would you suggest then?
So like I say, there's all these different things about minimizing the distractions, getting your working hours, the communications. Hopefully a lot of employers have actually told people what they expect as well. So it's a bit tricky at this time, but having a plan and them knowing what to expect from you, and you sort of feeding back. Hopefully people do have everything they actually need to work, which isn't always the case, because not everyone has laptops and that kind of thing. So that's obviously the first stage of that plan, is making sure that's all in place, and people have access to systems. And on the flip side of that is that everything's secure as well. But really that's up to employers to sort of sort out for employees.
Something I noticed that somebody else had a problem with, one of my clients yesterday, a couple of their employees had trouble with their broadband, but I don't know whether that's just a case of the network at the moment is so heavy, so much heavier on the sort of home working side of things, more so than probably the heavy based, work internet sites.
Yeah, there was even talk of companies like Netflix limiting HD streaming and taking everything down to a sort of lower quality, because like you say, obviously if everyone is suddenly at home constantly streaming, it makes a difference. Thankfully I've not seen any issues yet, and no one's said anything about any issues, but like I say, it's a sort of concern, especially for sort of video chats like this. When
I first started my coaching and things, without the broadband we had, we, every time Georgia went on Netflix actually and I had Zoom going, it would actually cut out, or it was affecting it, and I was going mad saying, you can't do this when I'm on a call with a client. And we actually in the end switched to BT Halo, which it was put a network in. So we've got a hub upstairs and a hub downstairs. And I made sure that I detached Georgia so that her hub is downstairs. It's like, get off my space. So, I suppose that's the other one. And I know sort of a lot of the companies are sort of doing offers at the moment to keep everybody going. So it's something else I think is worth bearing in mind.
Yeah, a good sort of backup to that as well is to use your mobile phone and tether to that. Because again, I've seen similar things where people's broadband is either it's just terrible or they just have it clicking in and out. And most mobile phone contracts have stacks of data these days. It's not the issue it used to be before.
I think mine is
set that up as a sort of Wi-Fi hotspot and connect to it from your laptop and do things that way. Yeah,
because I think quite often people are scared to use them, but I like mine. It doesn't cost me a lot each month. I think it's only about 20 quid. I've got something like 20 gig of data that I never ever use. But actually, you're right. When I go out and about now, I go, right, now I can use my laptop because I can tether to my phone. I think people forget that as well, that, don't be afraid. You don't use that much that quickly. It's not the same as things used to be.
No, exactly. And like I say, it's just having a sort of backup plan, isn't it? And again, from sort of that perspective, then these days, so much sort of software isn't installed. It's all in the cloud, which obviously makes the whole home working thing so much easier. And so, again, for sort of past 5 years, then all companies I've been involved with have been big Google and G Suite users. So using Microsoft and Excel and all these kinds of things, which I know they can now do it with Office 365. But because Google Suite is all just purely online, it's absolutely brilliant for remote working. So you can even have more than one of you in one document, all editing, and you can see the other people typing as you're typing in another part of the document. It just makes it really useful. So that's a really good system to use, especially if there's more than one of you remote.
Yeah, because I mean, Google, you've got the spreadsheets and things as well, haven't you? Because I know with my VA, we use that. She's in the Philippines, I'm obviously here. And the other one we use together is Airtable. Yeah, because I do a lot of my content in advance. So she needs to be working on graphics while I'm writing. So we can both access it at the same time. I usually get told off for shifting things, but I'm a devil for moving things around, and I get a little message saying, "Will you stop it?"
A couple of years ago, I had a marketing assistant, so I'd sort of say, "This is the blog we want to put out this week. Here's the sort of title and an idea of what it is." She would then write it, feed it back to me. And the way it worked before we were using Google Docs for it was I'd just email her with, this is the idea. She would write a Word document, email it to me. I would then look at it and do any editing and any tweaks to it and send it back. And then she'd sort of upload it to our blog and reformat and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we completely changed it and made it so much slicker. So we just had a Google Doc where all I do is put the title and what it was on about. She'd then write the actual content. I could then go in and put comments by everything. And so if I deleted a paragraph, I could actually put why I'd done it. So her writing got improved more and more every week because she could see why I was changing things. And so it works really nicely from that perspective. It helped out. It was faster. It helped improve her writing because she knew reasons I was changing things, and so
so it's got a huge
there's lots of advantages to this.
It has, because the other thing I thought about the other day was actually, for people to start actually journaling what's happening, because actually when they come out of it, you'll have loads of ideas of actually how things can improve when you get back, because how you actually adapted when you were at home. How things could improve. As you say, communication being the biggest one. How actually, when you go back to the office, how you can communicate better. And actually, it brings the question: do you need to be in the office all the time too? Yes, some people do, but you know.
I think that's going to make a lot of companies realise how many people can actually work from home. I think it's going to massively change the future of work, which is something I've always been into anyway, as you can tell from what I was saying earlier, in sort of co-working spaces I'm a big fan of, and all these kind of things. I don't believe people in most roles these days all have to sit in an office together. There are advantages to face-to-face. So even when we were all working remotely, we're all physically within 30, 40 miles of each other. So once a week, we would still have a physical get together, because it doesn't matter how good video is and all these things, you still can't beat that.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose once we come through this, that'll be the thing. It'll be, we'll appreciate each other a bit more, but not so much in our pockets every day. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's going to be lots of positives that come out of it, which is the same for hopefully most situations, that it's the sort of negative situations that make people think about what's important and better ways of doing things. So I think there will be a lot of positives that come out of it.
Absolutely.
Sort of get through it first.
We're only at the start at the moment. They've told us 3 weeks at the moment, so we've got to take it each day as it comes, I guess. Have you got anything more to add then before we wrap up then, Richard?
No, I think that's probably it. Like I say, there's the article where I go into a bit more depth in that. And I've also got another article for employers, because again, it's all right. People saying, well, I've never worked from home, I don't know what to do. A lot of employers haven't had to run companies from home. So they either over or under manage people, in my experience. So they either don't tell people what they're supposed to be doing and just expect them to get on with it, and there's no communication, or every 5 minutes they're saying, oh, have you done this, have you done that, what are you doing now? There needs to be a happy medium there.
Well, I'm going to drop your article in with the video, so I'll so everybody can see and sort of learn from that as well. But thank you so much this today. I really appreciate it. I'm sure lots of people will as well, because it's and Karen, enjoying your travels. Totally envious of what you're doing and where you are, even if it is a bit restricted at the moment.
Well, that's it. It sort of stopped for a minute. So we were supposed to be moving on to the States in 3 weeks, but obviously that's not happening now. So I think we're just going to bunker down in Vietnam for 3 months, and thankfully we really like where we are and everything. And the weather's definitely better than at home. So.
Although we've got blue skies and sunshine, I must admit, but it's just a bit chilly.
It's. I think it's about 30 degrees here today. So when I looked back in Weatherby this morning, I think it was 3 degrees.
It's not so warm here. But thank you so much, Richard. I really appreciate it.
No worries at all. Okay,
all right,
thanks,
take
Sally.
care.
Thank you.